My name is Julie Manson. I'm the Director of Employability at Hertfordshire Law School. I teach on some of the programmes in the law school, and I'm based with what we call the Student Enhancement Team. So myself and my colleagues work together to provide support and extra activities and information for all of our students within the law school.
Why should our first year students be really thinking about careers right now?
Thank you, Chandra. Yeah, really good question. I think it's just so important to start thinking of your degree journey as the start of your career journey, and thinking from day one about things that you can be doing to enhance your future employability once you graduate. Graduation's a long way off when you're a first year student, and being a student is your priority, and that's absolutely right. But it's also a really good time to be thinking about, who am I, what do I like, what sort of careers might I be interested in the future, and what sort of careers are there? And that whole career journey is a real process of learning and understanding. And I think it's really important for students to be starting good habits of getting to know themselves and their potential careers early on in their degrees.
What are the 3 very super helpful career support that you offer to our students this year?
Always first on the list, I say LinkedIn. Even when you're first year students and you're thinking, my graduate job is a couple of years away yet, getting onto LinkedIn and setting up a profile on LinkedIn is so incredibly helpful. And I think during the last 12 months in particular, the amount of activity that goes on and the amount of free information and resources that's available via LinkedIn is really impressive. So I would really, first of all, my priority for any student would be to make sure you set up a profile on LinkedIn, however basic that is, to start with, just so that you're in there and you're getting used to that environment. I have a group actually that's called the Hertfordshire Law School Law and Criminology Students Group. It's a bit of a long name, but it's quite easy to find once you're in LinkedIn. And if you look at that, you'll start to see the kind of things that I'm sharing with students. And to give you some examples of what you can get out of LinkedIn, you've got items coming out from potential employers, you've got items coming out from government about policy, you've got charities coming out with statements, you've got people doing the jobs that you might want to do in the future, talking about their careers and opportunities. You've got loads about job vacancies and things like that. So that was a long answer to number one, but absolute priority is LinkedIn for all students and getting into that.
I agree with you, because when I looked for a research assistant, I actually looked at their LinkedIn profile. They were a master's student and they actually had a testimonial below as well. So to be honest, that gave me a lot of information to select them. So, I think it's super priority.
And what you've said there, Chamu, is really important, because using LinkedIn properly will massively enhance your chances of employment in the future. And there was a session that we had this week, and this leads me to number 2 actually, which is really embracing the opportunities available to you within the university. A session we had this week on enhancing your LinkedIn profile and getting a lot out of LinkedIn by using keywords and skills and terminology in your profile so that you get noticed. So there's a session on that that's recorded. So that kind of takes me on to my next one. So number 2 in the list of really important things to do, and that is to engage with what's on offer at law school level. So, for example, you have a weekly newsletter that goes out to each level within the programme, so first year, second year or third year, and that talks about events that are coming up. And sometimes it's very common, I don't know if you find this, Chamu, but it's very common for first and second years in particular to have very little idea about what they want to do when they leave their degree, and that's fine, that's normal. But what you need to be spending your time doing is research and thinking and listening and hearing from other people. All of the students in second year will do an employability module, which creates space in their timetable for them to really devote on employability and careers. And as part of that, we'll be providing support to do LinkedIn profiles, to get your CV in a really good shape, to hear about different career options from different speakers, access to lots of different resources. our university has got so much information, but what we need to do is bring out what's most important and relevant to students that are studying the CJC programme. What we also do is this really fantastic opportunity, which is offered and available to across the university, and it's called the Assessment Centre Experience. So every student will get to do that next year. What we do is we provide support in advance to get you ready, and then you do this assessment
as part of the module.
As part of the module, yeah. So
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to enhance the skills that you need in the graduate recruitment process. So going through, getting ready to do an interview, do a presentation, and do some group work within this carved out time called this Assessment Centre Experience, and then getting one-to-one feedback, detailed feedback on how you got on. At this time of year, the priority is doing your absolute best in your assessments and getting those all done and completed on time. And then it's about making good use of your time between now and starting again in the autumn, and being really mindful about what you're doing. So, for example, if you are going to be working over the summer, then whenever you're doing things at work, think, well, actually, what skills am I developing here? Am I doing something that involves some teamwork or dealing with a client relationship or customer relationship? Am I taking responsibility for something? And I really recommend you start writing it down, actually, so you've got material and evidence of the skills that you're using, so you can then start to use that in your CV and in your LinkedIn profile. So whatever you're doing by way of work over the summer, don't just do the work, but also think about what skills you're getting out of that. Take some time to do some research and reading around the kind of careers that you think you might be interested in or that might be available to you, or just generally looking at graduate careers out there. Perhaps catching up with some of the talks that we've had during the year this year that you can see on the Canvas page, and getting, I think, just building your network, really, getting to know more people. You can use LinkedIn, use the LinkedIn group, the law school group, to see who else is on there and maybe connect with people and start a conversation. If you've come across people that are doing your program, but they're third years now or second years, you might want to drop them a message and say, have you got any tips for me? Did you do co-curricular? What did you think of it? What do you recommend that I do? Then
it's about not losing that engagement, isn't it? But I think this summer is going to be quite different for all of us. It's going to be about trying to get out there into freedom and doing things. I suppose even within that, you know, as we make the best of, you know, coming out of COVID during summer, we could do like 2 weeks of work experience, have 2 weeks of like engaging about how much you've taken responsibility in that work experience. Is it just, you know, are you just mechanically doing it, or actually taking that leadership step? And then if we even have like a couple of weeks, like you said, to look through Canvas and to go listen to some of the recordings of the sessions that we have. So that's kind of a 5 to 6 week package that you're suggesting from the employability point of view for the first year students this summer.
Yeah, I think that's a really good summary of it. And I also think a really important thing to bear in mind is that you do need to be proactive. So you need to make things happen for yourself. And it's easy to go to work experience or go to a job and let it happen and you get something out of it. But you get even more out of it if you ask questions of other people and ask them about their jobs and how they got their job and what they like about it, what do they find challenging. So just increasing that level of interest and that level of proactivity and making things happen for yourself. And then that puts you in a much more confident and competitive position when it comes to the graduate market in a couple of years' time.
Finally, they're all going to be on their breaks and stuff, but what about yourself? If they want to drop you a line at that time, are you still available? You know, because now everyone, as you said, is busy with assessments and stuff. They're going to think about employability in summer more.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm around. There's myself. So I'm the Director of Employability for the law school as a whole, but I work as part of a team, the Student Enhancement team. Between us, we're around all year. And Chamra, I'm really keen to get ideas from students about what they would like as well. We've had quite a lot of feedback through student reps and through SCOs about the kind of talks that students would like, and we've been able to arrange quite a lot of talks this year, but always really interested in hearing suggestions and requests from students on the ground. So please do get in contact with us about that.
Absolutely. I think what we could do is we could do a roundtable little chat session with a few more students, just like how we are talking about it now. I think that's going to be really nice to get interaction going, as well as give you some feedback.
That would be great. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Julie, for doing this for us, our Director of Employability at the Hertfordshire Law School. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Thanks for having me.